Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 1991 GMC Syclone. Now this is 1,356 horsepower, 1,021 pounds-feet of torque from a 7.5 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 2,960 pounds, has its standard all-wheel drive system along with now all off-road tyres and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.292 seconds, 0 to 104.477 seconds, and going to a top speed of 251 miles an hour. So one advantage this car has is the native all-wheel drive, so we shouldn't suffer from understeer like plenty of other cars that have been converted to all-wheel drive suffer from. And obviously we now have a hell of a lot of horsepower for a car that now weighs less than 3,000 pounds. So let's see what it can do. So yeah, this car was by no means a slow car in its stock form. Could do 0 to 60 in about 4.6 seconds, which for 1991 and a pickup truck no less was ludicrously quick. But despite the fact that this has all-wheel drive in its native form, it was never an off-road truck in any regard, because to be as quick as it was to 60 and in terms of top speed and all that, it had to be lower and more concentrating on handling than being able to go off-road. But now that it does have those off-road tyres and that off-road suspension, your all-wheel drive will be able to work with that and yeah, hopefully keep this car stable and controllable, because we are dealing with more than 1,000 horsepower than what it had originally. Don't think this car had 300 horsepower in stock form, so yeah, even though it was quick, it wasn't necessarily because of the horsepower and torque that it had. Well, more likely down to the all-wheel drive system and the gearing that helped along with that power. But nonetheless, it is being really rather stable so far. More than 160 miles an hour down that straight there. We're struggling to keep the power down in some areas. We are a little bit squirrely in areas, which obviously isn't all that helpful. Obviously that all-wheel drive system is helping keep that power in check. Helping us deal with these off-road elements. Interesting to see what this can do in comparison to the hypercars and supercars that have been dominating this series. 178 miles an hour across the finish line and a time of 2 minutes 3 seconds .417, which is still really rather quick. Granted, it's not quite as quick as some other vehicles from in terms of being all-wheel drive or you know, from the 90s, but yeah, it's still really rather solid. So yeah, 2 minutes 3 seconds .417 puts us just behind the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, Maserati MC12, Ferrari 250 LM, Ford GT70, Toyota MR2 GT, and the Toyota Celica GT4, which is a year younger than this, so that's a real comparison. So yeah, we're not even all that much more than half a second slower than the Celica, so fairly solid in terms of that. And we're also quicker than a BMW Z4 Roadster, Ford Supervan 3, Porsche Macan Turbo, Mini X-Raid All4 Racing Countryman, a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, and an Audi RS6 Avant. So yeah, we're also quicker than several modern cars that are also made for going off-road. So yeah, it's about even Stevens really in terms of cars that are faster than it and cars that are slower than it. It's right slap bang in the middle of those kind of vehicles that you'd expect to be quick. And yeah, for a you know, a 29-year-old car, this is not half bad whatsoever, especially given it's got more than 1,000 horsepower that it had originally, and it was never really meant for going off-road, even though it had all-wheel drive as a native form. So yeah, really impressed by it, to be honest. And you can get this car by getting 50% in the current festival playlist. Easy enough, just do championships and speed traps and the like, and it'll be yours, and it's well worth getting because yeah, we've not had this car in this game until now, and yeah, we've not had the GMC Syclone for a while now in Forza games, I don't think. And we're also getting the Typhoon to go alongside it, which is basically the more practical version of this in terms of what it can in terms of how many people it can carry. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what that can do in comparison to this. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.